We are talking Western Bug Winter today, and this is Can We Chat? This podcast has been made possible by our sponsor, the channel super subscribers, growing our channel since 2023. What's up? My name is Paul G, Chief Safety Officer for the IDPA, helping you elevate your shooting skills safely and accurately. This channel will help you clarify IDPA rules, shooting techniques, and keep you updated with the newest gear and what's going on in the shooting community. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Joining us today is our very own Anthony Vega, fresh back from the Western. What the heck? Yeah. So, how was your drive back?
Drive back was terrible. We started off in the rain, which wasn't a bad thing, but after that, getting into LA, it was miserable.
So when did you get back? It's Saturday, right?
So we drove Saturday morning, left Slough House around 7:30ish, 7:45. Caught the rain, made pretty good time. Then got through the pass, and it was all downhill from there.
How bad was the rain exactly?
For us, it wasn't terrible. It kind of sprinkled on the way out. And then once we got on the freeway, it came down pretty hard for a little bit and then let up and then hard and then let off. And then I think we got the tail end of it and just kept going.
So on the range,
I was going to ask how bad was it there?
It started off as a downpour. Mm-hmm. And then it turned into just a deluge, and then it got worse from there, right? So it was the very first time I've ever seen ground saturate, fill up, and then all of a sudden it just turned into a swamp.
Ugh.
All right in front of my eyes, and there were shooters going out there and getting crazy, and I was just so proud of those guys.
That's impressive.
I was. It was some.
That's off to everybody that did that.
Yes, absolutely.
We actually had great weather when we were shooting.
I almost feel bad about that. Do you feel bad about that?
Yes and no. I mean, it could have been us the other way.
This is true. So, absolutely.
It's the luck of the draw. You can't, that's one thing you don't mess with is Mother Nature.
Yeah.
She will let you know what happens.
Oh, man.
And when.
But she was pissed.
That time of the month?
She was, I don't know about that, but she was like really, really upset for some reason or another. So Saturday was just brutal. So
then Sunday cleared up.
And then Sunday was a beautiful day again.
Is the ground still wet, muddy, and swamp-like?
It was like a modified Hawaii, it's just 10 minutes and stops.
Wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, but this one didn't. It was all day, right? And then it just dropped, and it was funny. So that was my bay. So I was on 12. I was SO in 12, and then Fred Johnson was over there on 9 and so forth. And I heard he had like 2 little creeks that were going through his.
Oh wow!
So I don't even know what that's like. So I heard.
Did you go fishing at all?
Yeah. So I heard 9 was the worst. So, but that was insane. So you got home safely though.
Yeah, I got home safe. A little frustration, like I said, the LA traffic. Me and traffic don't do well, but.
Well, I had to do it with a 7,000-pound house behind me.
How was your drive? Because you came home Monday, right?
Yeah. People are getting a little more aggressive, and they're just, just changing lanes in front of me. And, I go, I have a.
Oh yeah, people only care about themselves.
So I try to keep distance, and then people go, oh, it's an extra space, so they fill it in, and just rinse, repeat, and I'm like, it's just crazy. But I did a lot of podcasts there, different formats. We did it out in the live podcast,
which was fun. Actually doing this in front of a crowd.
So how'd that feel?
I was expecting a lot more heckling, which I was kind of disappointed at. Maybe next time.
They were so polite.
Yes.
Yeah. So so Brian Ferris helped out. He picked up a couple of the more boisterous and gentlemen and escorted them off, and that was really nice. But it is what it is, right?
Well, but that's like kind of us anyway. Like we're always heckling everybody, messing around, having a good time. Like we're there to have a great time.
And that's exactly what we did. But I mean, for the first time going live, right? That's exactly what that was all about. So
yeah, it was a great time.
How was your Airbnb?
It was awesome, as long as you liked yellow.
That's right.
Which was really odd.
You showed pictures
I showed
of
some
that.
pictures of it, and I mean, it was every single wall throughout the entire place is yellow. Luckily, it wasn't extremely bright and sunny outside, or else you might need sunglasses indoors.
Yeah.
But it's really nice, really quiet neighborhood. There's some restaurants, some shops, and all that right outside the neighborhood, less than a mile away.
Yeah.
I think from the Airbnb to the range was 30-ish minutes, give or take a little bit. A little bit of windy road, so you get stuck behind a truck or something like that.
Do you think that was a little too far? Or?
Actually, I think it was nice because that way, you just don't get up. Pros and cons. Like, obviously, if you're staying on the range, you hear everybody there, you're already there, you don't have that mental unwind to get to the range. Where sometimes I actually like that, having a little drive to kind of just get the mental checklist off and kind of go in and cruise in. Then get to say hi to everybody rather than just open up your door and everybody's just, hey, Papa! You're like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I should have stayed in my trailer for 5 minutes.
That was every morning that I got up and I had to step out, and that was a little crazy. So as soon as they saw lights and stuff like that, it was go, 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 right? And I'm like, no, that's not what that means.
Lights on, I'm home.
That's not what that means. So, well, let's get to the task at hand, I guess. So the Western Regional, oh, by the way, yeah, that's right. So the 2024 backup gun, first place sharpshooter. I think you pretty much dominated that. You missed the division champion, by the way, by one guy.
Hey,
so Joe is.
From what you're saying, I wish I would have had a chance to beat him because he seems like an absolutely great guy.
Joe, yeah. So he's the distinguished master from, I believe, Seattle or Washington. So he did it in the rain. So which is that much more impressive. Absolutely.
I would have loved to meet him, got a chance to see him shoot because you learn so much, and just by watching someone that actually knows what they're doing with these guns.
Yeah.
And I mean that's. Picked up all kinds of little tips and tricks watching some of the other guys shoot, and it's definitely a different division to shoot.
Oh yeah. I mean the stages themselves were just not bug friendly.
No, they
by
really
any
weren't.
means, and which I didn't mind.
But I think if the caveat to that is if you have a bug friendly stage, then all these other guns are just going to just walk even further.
Oh, yeah. But if you really wanted to test yourself, right, take it to a regional and shoot a backup gun. And then again, I mean, take that one step further in the revolver guys, right? They're
because with the revolver guys, you have to go one for one.
Yes.
You have to either shoot to empty cylinder, and that is it. Like, at least we could, all right, 5, add your fresh mag. They don't have any of those options, so those are the purest of the pure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, I think that's going a little too far. It's just, to me, I thought that was a lot of work. So, but there were a couple stages that's really stuck out in my head. What stages actually stuck out in your? What was your favorite?
My favorite was 4. I actually liked it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I shot it really well. For whatever reason, it just clicked with me, and it worked. I did kind of like the in the dark shoot house type of deal. I think I did fairly well with that one as well, but seeing something that you don't normally see and then being completely unprepared, seeing low light, not no light, and having to borrow a flashlight to actually use this thing when I had an awesome Surefire in my nightstand. I was like, I don't need that. I'll be at the range all day. It's bright and sunny.
Oh my God, that was funny. We heard about it. They walked up and said, "Oh, by the way, they have a dark house, or they said a low light house." And they were like, "Okay." So they went to go take a look at it, right? And they came back and they were like, "That's not a low light house." And I'm like, "Well, what is it?" Yeah, they said no light, and they're like, "Oh, great." So there's a Tractor Supply around the corner, right, in Marietta, and so we went over there and dominated all the flashlights they had. So I got to do.
Thank you for letting me use your flashlight.
Oh, you're welcome. Because I sat there, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was something interesting too, especially with a bug gun.
Yeah,
right.
You already have this little, almost toy-like gun, and then you have a flashlight that's as the same size as the gun. Then you're like, oh, great.
Let's take a look at his stage 4. Now that is impressive. You're definitely moving.
I'm trying.
You were doing that like pretty much all day.
So for me, if I get put up with a challenge like you did, even if it was kind of playing around at first, and I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, he's actually kind of serious. And then shooting a first match with a bug going, I thought I could figure this out, and it's not even close. Like, I suck. Like, that was the drive to literally, like, I've never really sat at home, done some dry fire practice, which I know I should. Right. And that's what most people do to kind of hone their skills.
Right.
But I've never really worried about that. I'm like, oh, you know what? Club matches are like practice. Like, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I went out and I was like, I need to actually do this. So, actually putting in the time and work, it pays dividends.
Well, for me,
it helped me a lot.
For me, dry firing, changing mags and so forth, that wasn't for practice as far as my priority was concerned. It was more like so I wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Because remember the first time?
That
that thing bit me, right?
That bit you really good.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
So that was just my thing. Let's just try to be able to do a mag change without getting bit. How's that sound?
That's high priority. Because you injure your hand that way and you're done.
Right. And then because that just took the whole fun out of it, right?
Yeah, so. It's no longer fun when you're in pain and bleeding all over the place.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so once I got that out of the way, I would have to say that, now I have to work on headshots because obviously I was missing an awful lot of headshots. And it was just so... I sat there and I thought I was balanced looking at it. So I shot and whoop, right over the top. I'm like, what the heck?
It's hard enough getting headshots with any gun, but a bug, it's a whole different animal.
I noticed that they were all at like 10, 12 yards, 8 to 12 yards, right? So
yeah, and then you do it while, you just move from a position, most of the time you're leaning.
Yeah, so that lean really killed me.
Yeah, the leans, you take all these other things, your adrenaline going, obviously you're in a big match.
Yeah.
You're hauling ass into a position.
Yep.
And then you're trying to calm yourself down fast enough to actually make a good, clean shot at that kind of distance with a small little gun. It's like trying to level off your flooring in your house with a little torpedo level.
Right.
It's a pain.
Right. Oh, jeez. Well, the results are as follows. You came in 40th out of 169 shooters. That's all different type of disciplines. 40th.
When I saw that result, I was shocked myself. Like, I was like, no, there has to be some mistakes. There has to be something else going on. Like, I know I shot the match of my life. Like, I don't think I could shoot a better match. And to me, like, even looking at the results after the fact, I'm like, oh, wow, this is actually, I'm impressed with myself. And usually for me, I'm like,
you should be.
I try to, and everybody thinks that I should give myself a little bit more credit, but I guess I'm like everybody else. You are your own worst critic.
For a platform that you just picked up a couple months before and tried to, it turned out to be a joke for both of us. And we're like, hey, let's just do this, and then all of a sudden it just turned into something crazy. Yeah. So you're like competing with like some huge guys. Second out of 7 of us. You beat one marksman, 2 masters, an expert, and the DM he just schooled all of us. So Joe, yeah,
I wish I would have loved to have seen him shoot, like just to kind of see, like, we do the comparison videos when we shoot.
Yes,
doing something like that would have been amazing.
Just side by side.
Yeah, just to kind of see. Just the learning curve on that would just be next level in a hurry.
Yeah, when he came to my bay, I sat there and I'm looking at him and I'm like, wow. that's impressive.
Did you just do the Wayne's World?
Yeah, it's like,
worthy. We're not worthy.
I was just like, oh my gosh, is that the way we're supposed to shoot it, right? So that was pretty interesting. So how did your equipment hold up, buddy?
Equipment held up great. I think the night before I dry fired for about an hour and a half doing mag changes. So like getting the fine tuning of, all right, at what kind of angle was I having to actually pull the holster out, because the wing's on the side of the pistol.
Yeah.
Like I'm still figuring in the gear and equipment out. Like we've been shooting this for 3
How
months.
long now?
I think 3 months, and I've never used the same equipment twice for anything.
Yeah.
So like trying to figure out some of the nuances of different aspects of the equipment. Like I was sitting there just drawing the holster, trying to get the cleanest angle, and I found for myself, like usually most of my draws come like straight up and out, where this I had to kind of come in towards my body a little bit more to actually get a clean draw out of the holster without hanging up and getting a little bobble with it.
This was because the lower that was hooking up onto the holster itself. So okay.
So just finding out some of those little things where I'm like, why am I keep getting a slight dirty draw to where it's like you go to pull and then kind of hangs up a little bit. And I found that the night before, like the angle, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then mag changes, like where I had to have the base plate like hit right on my palm in a certain location, or else that would work. If it was off just a little bit, then you're fumbling mags, which I did have a couple, which in a match you're always going to have a couple odd mag changes. But
so my HK was still sticking just a little bit because I didn't notice that I was still coming up canted, right? And it's supposed to be up and down, right? And that's why and then I had to do a quick flip, which caused me a little bit of time. I hate doing that. I've been trying to practice just straight up and down, right? But a lot of those stages were so tight, you got to watch your muzzle, right? And it always puts it, you always have to put it down range.
Well, I mean, how many stages were starting right at the 180? I mean, you're right there.
Mine, 12, right?
Yeah.
So
the car one.
Oh, the car was, that was I noticed a lot of that stuff. I was just like, okay, so we're right on the 180 right there. So you got to really, really be careful. So, but what was your best stage, or what was the worst stage? I would have to say.
Worst stage.
You just didn't feel.
I think it was monkey swinger. It was just odd. Like that one, I probably should have shot it differently. And I think there was another stage where it just didn't feel right. I think it was 9 where. I found myself. I got to pee on that one. Which, all right, like going too fast, not mentally not being there, but just my shooting, everything felt off. Like that was the one stage, and most people were like, "Oh, you shot it great." I'm like, "No, I didn't." For me, like, it didn't feel right.
Right.
Like taking too long to get my shots, and the shots weren't bad, but it just everything took longer for me to actually recognize what I'm doing.
Okay.
And then when I went to go faster, all of a sudden, there goes the pee. So
how was your mind throughout the whole match?
It was good. I mean, I'd never had anything to where it's just like got really frustrated. Like, for me, having good people like yourself and everybody else we shoot with.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's a great thing about having a team.
Yeah.
Is, you could be down and, the team's there to quickly bash you, say, "Oh yeah, you suck. So now let's pick it up and let's make it happen again." And that's the great thing about it is for your mental game, it's key. Like having good, great people around you that are willing to help you out and support you.
Keep that
keep your
tempo,
drive up.
Absolutely.
Calm you down or build you up. Depending on which way you need to go. And I mean, that's mentally for me. That means the world.
Wow. So your overall match experience, apparently, it's a very positive thing.
Yeah. I mean, we go to do this to have fun. So I mean, if you're not having fun, then you need to go find something else to do.
Well, I don't know. What do you think about the shooters on Saturday?
Sometimes to enjoy some of the highlights, you need to have some of those pitfalls.
Yeah.
If they weren't enjoying it, they wouldn't have been there anyway. So obviously they enjoyed it. They embraced the suck.
Yeah.
And they made it happen. And,
I requested heaters to be put on my my stage for a lot of the shooters, and the match director had some choice words for me.
You said absolutely not.
They're like, "What? Hey, better yet, when we use your trailer." I'm like, "Okay, I got your point."
That would have been a great deal. Like, shoot from the trailer. Have you back around, drive around.
My wife would have been pissed.
No.
Yeah. So was there? So what did you learn from this whole thing? This whole ordeal? I mean, you got to shoot a major.
I got to shoot a major with a bug, which that's a big learning deal right then and there. Like anybody that has, I keep saying, anybody that hasn't shot a bug, even at a local match, you got to try it.
Yeah.
Most of us are carrying these little guns.
Yeah.
And what we do, we go to the range when we have to qualify. We shoot, what the required amount, then it gets put away, and then you carry it all day long. You never have a chance to do all these things. So now, actually shooting one of these in competition, your holster might be a little different, but shooting the gun at speed, moving around and all that, you learn a lot. Like you think that you're proficient with it until you actually have to test yourself with it.
I've seen a lot of the shooters actually have appendix, right? Yeah. So I thought those guys were pretty impressive. They were wearing shirts, T-shirts and stuff.
Little T-shirts.
And I'm like, oh my God, here we go, right? But they were safe. They were extremely fast, right? Yeah. But it's the reloads that I kind of...
Yeah, right there, like, not my preferred choice of carry, but hey, to each their own. Doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just indifferent.
It's just, mistakes. You probably pay dearly on that type of thing, right? So
I could see that.
So do you have a long list of things that you're going to change, or you're not going to change your thing and just go with it, or?
I don't know. I think I still want to try the comp slide for a 365.
Okay.
After that, I don't think there's too much more. A couple small little things maybe with the gun. Mm-hmm. But I think for the most part, it's pretty close to where I'm happy with it. Yeah. I wouldn't mind trying little things here and there. But overall, I think it's pretty much exactly where I'd like to have it. After shooting a match like that, that's where I kind of learned was there's not much I have to do with it. Now it's just, a little bit extra bread on the butter.
Right.
To make it a little easier.
So you're going to continue shooting bug, or how far are you going to go with this?
I don't know. I was going to confer with you and see what the next stage of plans are, because, there's always some kind of ridiculous challenge or, some harebrained idea that Paul has that I have to go along with.
Well, that was enough coverage for me. I mean, I successfully did a 3-part series on bug guns, trying to learn how to do bug guns and so forth and compete with bug guns. You and I took that to an ultimate level and took it to a regional, right? Which I didn't even look at that, right?
I'd never even thought that was a possibility.
I thought this was going to be 3 matches, local matches, and we're done. We're done looking at this.
3 and out.
Kind of move on to something else, right? But Sheepdog's coming in December, so we have to get ready for that sometime. So that's all.
Maybe I should ask you how long we're going to do this for.
I don't. It's funny because since it's a carry gun, it's actually been a carry gun that I've never even used because it was just too damn small, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice to carry around and it's comfortable and everything, but you comes to shooting it, right? I'm good only 10 yards, but when you're actually running around and manipulating it and stuff and trying to, not only shoot accurately, right, and consistently, but you're trying to shoot fast, right? All of a sudden, it just turned into fun practice for me. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it.
That's the other thing I love about the Western is, for our local club matches, everything's pretty close and pretty tight. A far shot is 10, 12.
Yeah.
Maybe 15.
Yeah.
Where there we had steel at 17 yards.
Well, the standards.
Yeah, and the standards, you're pushing out.
Which you killed.
I did all right. I definitely got smoked by a couple guys, but, never having a chance to shoot that far with the bug, you're just like, wait, hold on. What? I need to do this with this.
I thought that was definitely enjoyable for me. I sat there, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's hard. It's a little difficult, but the thing is that it's forcing me to pay attention, and I'm having a great time doing it.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I always love shooting them. Then again, just traveling and, not seeing the same scenery when you're in the background when you're shooting a stage.
Right.
Is nice. Maybe it's just me, but get out of your comfort zone a little bit and have a great time.
Get a little variety in our life, right?
A little spice.
Well, this whole month has to deal with bugs. So there's a 3-part series, bug, backup gun secrets, things that you should know. Part 1's coming up this Sunday, and then you have 2 and 3 the following. But we have multiple podcasts that we're doing This is one of them. This will be the last of the, I believe, 3. I interviewed Fred Johnson for the state coordinator or the match director, right? Area coordinator, right? Yep. And then I did the match directors, right? Ryan and Fred Mowry, which you helped me out doing that. Brian Ferris from BP Shooting and Reloading. The next 2 weeks are going to be very, very busy for all the subscribers.
Got a lot of content to watch.
Too much content, almost. So definitely stay tuned for that. So thank you so much for tuning in to Can We Chat. Please consider being a part of our shooting community, building relationships around safe gun practice and IDPA competition. My name is Paul G, and this is
Anthony Vega.
Be safe, and we shall see you on the range. Like, share, subscribe.